Hey y'all, so I want to do a quick tomato video. As you can see, my tomatoes, they have a lot of leaves on them. For the most part, I have pruned them back, but I'm going back in for the second time because I waited a little while just to see what all was going to get blooms, so I know where my fruit is going to be. And now I'm going in and I'm just, because what you want the plant to do is to focus on the fruit. So you got this branch here, and you see it's holding this. So you got to find out what's not being used, what's not going to produce a fruit for you. And then you're going to go in, see if I can get it while I'm holding the phone. And you're just going to clip that piece off. So one, you're allowing the fruit to get more air. That's Wheezy that I'm working on now. So I already did George. Y'all know I named my tomatoes the Jeffersons: George, Wheezy, Lionel, Jenny, Florence. And now I have one that's Grandma. So I've already done George. George was really bushy, and having a lot of leaves is really pretty. But what I'm learning is once those leaves once they get going, the tomatoes start coming on to the blooms, you need to prune as much as you can. A lot of people don't, and that's fine, to each his own. But what I'm doing to try to get more production of fruit, as you can see, is getting this pruned back. So I left a couple succulents, right? See these suckers? I said succulents. Suckers right here. And you're just gonna clip that off because it's not needed. And that's gonna allow, and you see them starting to turn their ripe color. That's gonna allow all kinds of airflow to your fruits and vegetables. Like you have, once you get them and you try to figure out, this is gonna be my main stem, and because I left this on and it still doesn't have any fruit on it, I don't need it. So you don't want to just go in automatically and start cutting, because you don't know exactly what's going to have fruit and what's not. And you're just going to clip it off, and that's how I'm getting my tomatoes to produce more fruit as opposed to more leaves. Although they are pretty leaves, here goes some that's just starting, because these are all tomatoes. So I've already done this, but I'm gonna clip some more suckers off of them, and you can go up as far as you want. And if you want to start another tomato but don't want to start from seed, because these were all started from seed, you can actually, like this one has the little, so you know it's going to produce. So all you would do is clip it here and then replant it all the way up. I would clip that off too, and just bury it deep in, because all those little fine little spikes, I don't know if you can see it on there, all that little white fine, yeah, that's gonna give you roots. So the deeper you bury your tomato plant, the more sturdy it'll be in the ground, and the more it will produce for you. And that's just from me doing a lot of research. And I've seen a few other people do it, like Living Tradition Homestead. So I have to do Lionel. I have to do a lot of clipping on him, because we have a lot of fruit right up in here. We have more coming on him right here, and then you have little ones coming in right there. But I think once I clip them, and I'm trying to get it done today, because after today, they're calling for rain for the next 10 days, y'all. So I'm not even going to water today because I watered once yesterday and I didn't want to do a lot because I knew that was happening. Now, if it come around 6 o'clock tomorrow and it's no rain, then of course I'll water them. But you want to give it a good soak when you do plant your tomatoes, kind of like when you do with your watermelon. They just love it for some reason. Right now they look a little droopy because they're right in the sun and heat is hitting them. So I'm gonna get back to clipping my suckers off of my tomatoes, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so I'm done now, and it's gonna look like you have nothing left, y'all, when you prune. So what I'm saying to you is, when your plants are young, yes, you can do that. I don't recommend doing it when they're young because you still need to be able to see how your plant is going to produce. So I would rather go through and have a lot of work to do later once they get a little bigger than to do it when they're younger and clipping too many branches that I don't need to clip, or too many suckers, because you can get fruit from some suckers. So I'm going to show you. So this is George. I cut him back. I did leave some up here that I'm going to take off. I missed it. My bad. And I don't want to take that whole branch off because I do have, excuse me, y'all, the pollen is bothering me, some little flowers on there. So this was actually a sucker. And look, it produced a whole bunch of these. So you don't have to take all your suckers off. The only suckers I really recommend taking off is at the very bottom, because wherever the little white prickly stuff is right here, your roots, it's gonna take, and then you're gonna have another plant growing like over here where I didn't do it. I saved it so you could see it. I have two of them. So this is one tomato plant. So what happened is, and see how you don't clip it all the way. Clean cut, y'all, clean cut. Look, cut. So it branched off because I didn't cut that succulent. So you could leave it or you could take it away. I'm gonna choose to take mine away over here. But on this side, this one looks like it's gonna produce some flowers eventually. I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna cut that little piece, the sucker on the side right there. And then I'll cut that one off right there. So now it'll be like I have two different plants in here. This one right here, same way. This is one plant right here. But because I didn't cut that sucker at the bottom, I now have another plant that I'm gonna leave on and see if I can get some fruit from it. I'm just gonna take off any extra suckers that I don't want growing in here. So yeah, it's gonna look like you really gut the heck out of it, because you really are. This one right here is not gonna have anything on it, so I can take it. And that's what you're left with. So I know it looks like a lot, and it is because it's a lot of leaves, but you gotta remember, you don't want all your energy going to the leaves. You want your energy going to the fruit. To the fruit. These were suckers that actually produced. That's why I say leave some of the suckers on at the top, but the ones at the bottom take off. Make sure you take all the suckers off like I did here, but I left the ones up here just to see if they're gonna fruit, and they're actually fruiting. The goal is to get bigger and more fruit on your vines. Like I really gutted this one, but I have so many right here. These, I think these are the great tomatoes. and I left that on. I got to get something to prop it though, because it's a little bendy right there, but the fruit is just fine. So that's it for the video. I hope that it helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you have any tips that you do, leave them in the comments, because other people read the comments and it may help somebody. I do recommend the Fit Farmer, Mike. I recommend his videos for it. Matter of fact, him and his wife just did one on tomatoes showing you this same process, and it works for them as well. And I think they're in Garden Zone 7B or A in North Carolina, and I'm in Garden Zone 8A in South Carolina. So it can work, but you need to know your garden zone and what works in your area. Also, if you happen to cut one and then you realize, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to cut that. Now, I meant to cut this one, but oh my gosh, I didn't mean to cut that. It actually had some flowers starting to come onto it. You can take this, do a clean cut at the bottom, and plant it deep after you take that sucker off right there. Take that little sucker off right there, and then you're going to plant it all the way down to here. So all of that is going to be in the ground, in the soil, and then you can plant that. So I'm going to do that to this one, and then we're going to watch the progress of it. Hopefully it will start doing something before we move. Maybe I'll do it in a bucket, that way I can take it with me and show y'all the progress of it, that it does work when you do it like that. So we'll see y'all. So these are the two. I found another one that had some little flowers on it. This one has one on the succulent. That one has one on the succulent. On the sucker right here and right here. So I have it buried deep. I clipped the ends, clipped all the other suckers off, and we're gonna see what it do, y'all. We're gonna see what it do. And I may take this one little piece off because it's not going to have anything on it, just so all the energy can focus on that right there. So y'all have a blessed day. I love you, but God loves you more. He created only one you. Be the best you that you can be. When you are, go out and spread God's love with distance. Also, when you sow, you will grow.